This video is to help you wire up the analog motor. All right, so this is the analog motor right here. This is a transistor, and that's the diode, which we'll get to in a minute. Okay, so the transistor is, its purpose is to act as an electronic switch. So if we trace the wiring here, let's start out with the 5 volts. We can see I'm using the positive rail here. So the 5 volts goes to the positive rail, in which case then it goes to the positive terminal of the motor. So the current is going to flow from the 5 volts. It's going to go to the positive terminal of the motor. It's going to exit out of the negative terminal of the motor. It's going to go to the collector here of the transistor, and then the emitter of the transistor, which is that terminal right there, that goes to the ground. So therefore, we've got a complete circuit there, assuming that the transistor is conducting. Okay, now what determines whether or not it's conducting is the current at the base. So the base is the middle terminal here, and we have to have 1,000 ohms, 1 kilo ohms connected, of resistance connected to the base. So we're using 330 ohm resistors like you have in your kit connected in series. And then right there, and that goes to one of the pulse width modulation ports. Okay, so this port right here, that is controlling the switch when there's current in there. That closes the switch and it allows the transistor to conduct. When it conducts, we have current that flows out of 5 volts through the motor into the collector, out of the emitter, back to ground. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you read the lab, you might remember I spoke about a diode. Now, one of the problems with electric motors, and they generate back EMFs. Back EMFs can actually damage your Arduino board. So the purpose of the diode is to prevent that from happening, and it allows the current to only flow one way. All right, so there's the diode. There's a little stripe right there. That's got to be connected to the positive terminal of the motor, in which case I've just got it connected right here to that positive rail, because positive terminal of the motor is connected to the positive rail. This side of the diode goes to the other end of the motor, which I've got connected to the collector of the transistor. And of course, the collector of the transistor is connected to that terminal of the motor. So the diode is connected correctly in order to protect the motor against a back EMF. Okay, the last thing here, and this is a totally independent circuit, is the potentiometer, which you're going to use to control the speed of the motor. Okay, we've wired this up once before, but I'll just review it real quick. One end, and it doesn't matter which it is, one terminal here has to be connected to 5 volts, so I've just got it connected to that positive rail. The other end of the terminal goes to ground, and that's this wire here, and it goes to that ground connection right there. And then the center terminal goes to an analog port. So I've got that connected to A0. Okay, that's it. And your task is to wire this up and to write the code so that the potentiometer controls the speed of the motor.